And I was very anxious about what the attitudes would be.
Stop that now, I need to ask you, do you have lots of friends at school?
And in that parent meeting, it was discussed that there would be a child with Down syndrome in the classroom. And one of the parents' response was, well, how is that going to work?
As far as the staff, cannot praise them enough, honestly. It's been fantastic. The flow from the positive attitudes from Ashley, the principal, all the way through staff and the students has been incredible.
With regard to the attitudes that we've had from other parents or from the teacher, they've been outstanding. They really go out of the way to look after everything, you know, both from the child's syllabus to how they're doing on a day-to-day basis, academically and socially.
There's been a couple of tiny little things that have happened, little minor things like really hot days. Penny really doesn't cope well with the heat and she literally will wither before your eyes. There's been a couple of parents after school that have actually commented on seeing her in the staff room and why was she in there and not my children. But when I've explained to them Penny's issues and her medical needs, they kind of come around and they've been really good. Everyone has been generally very accepting.
I think with other staff members, they were curious about Penny and what we were doing in the classroom with her because they were thinking, oh, eventually I'll get Penny in the years to come. What am I doing?
I think sometimes people were kind of looking at me going, how are you coping? And, you know, this kind of being fearful for the workload that would be involved in having her here.
It was so lovely to hear every day the other teachers, which had the student previously before me, comment how independent he's going and how well he's doing, and even the parents got on board. They'll spend extra time reading with the student and he just felt very included within the environment, which is exactly what a teacher wants.
School were able to say, look, well, she's in the classroom now, it's working out, the children are, you know, playing beautifully, interacting beautifully.
From a community point of view, the parents have been amazing. You can see parents going out of the way to help their children be friends with our daughter. You know, Isabella gets invited to play dates and parties, same as any other kid.
Definitely improvements in Penny's speech and communication. Her social skills have been amazing. It's been great to see the other kids taking on a caring role.
Adopting inclusive strategies, there are absolutely lots of benefits. Just because I may be implementing an inclusive strategy for this boy with Down syndrome, it's not to say that another student in the classroom won't need that strategy. It's simple things such as making a fine motor or tracing book. However, you know other students in the classroom need it, so you'll make that for them too.
Sometimes you have to be firm, and some people were not afraid, but they were just unsure how firm to be with her when you wanted her to stop something. And I think over time, everyone just found a balance. And I think the key was time.
One of the most important pieces of advice I'd like to pass on to educators would be not to stress too much, not to be too hard on yourself, not to criticize yourself too much. Just take it day by day. We had to change a lot of what we were doing and adapt with Isabel. Once we set goals for her and then she would meet them, we would have to change the goalposts again, or just constantly assessing what's working and what's not working, and not being afraid to put your hands up and say, this isn't working, let's change it. So flexibility, I think, is probably just the most important thing.
We have a social program called Play is the Way, and we use the language from that all the time. One of the key ones, treat others as you would like others to treat you.
Yeah.
And we kind of iterated that all the time with the children. They just picked up the values from there, and they behaved towards each other how you'd want someone to behave. And it wasn't just with Penny, it was to each other, which was really important to me.
We noticed that as soon as Isabel started school that her speech and language improved out of sight. Like she was saying things that she hadn't said before, so that her vocabulary was increasing, and she was talking much more generally.
In terms of Bella being in mainstream school, look, academically we've seen a big improvement in her ability. So things like writing, huge improvement in being able to write, verbalisation, having conversations, and just general confidence. We have noticed in the way that some of her peers in the classroom have embraced her and go out of the way to be her friend, and so you've actually seen that other child grow themselves.
Don't be scared of what you don't know. She's just a little girl. They're just little kids, the same as every other kid that you have in your classroom.